The richest woman in the world was simply walking arm in arm with her son, but her soon-to-be daughter-in-law mistook her for a homewrecker. Panicking, the fiancée quickly texted her future mother-in-law to complain. As soon as she received the message, the mother-in-law grabbed her husband, the CEO, by the ear and demanded to know who this other woman was. The CEO, utterly confused, was certain there had to be a misunderstanding and promised to go explain everything to his fiancée. Only then did the mother-in-law relax. But as soon as the CEO left, the fiancée jumped out of her car and, without hesitation, slapped her future mother-in-law across the face. At that moment, the mother-in-law recognized her, but the fiancé had no idea who she had just slapped. Before anyone could clear things up, the fiancé pulled out some photos she had secretly taken and publicly accused the woman of being a mistress. A crowd quickly gathered, pointing fingers and condemning the woman for her immoral behavior. The mother-in-law, stunned, asked the fiancé if she even knew who she was talking to, but the fiancé took it as a challenge. Despite the woman's repeated attempts to explain that she was, in fact, her future mother-in-law, the fiancé refused to believe her. After all, the woman only looked a few years older than her. How could she possibly be her fiancé's mother? Enraged, the fiancé slapped her again. The wealthy woman, watching her son's fiancé act so arrogantly, was deeply disappointed. But since this was the woman her son had chosen, she decided to give her one last chance. She pulled out her phone, ready to show the text messages that would clear up the misunderstanding. However, the fiancé didn't even look at the phone. She grabbed it and threw it to the ground, smashing it. Then she yanked the woman's hair, bragging that with her super-rich mother-in-law backing her, she feared no one. The wealthy woman warned her that she would regret not looking at the phone. At this point, the fiancé's best friend picked up the broken phone and handed it to her. But seeing that it was damaged only made the fiancé more furious. She slapped the woman again, accusing her of stalling and wasting time until her husband arrived to save her. Just then, the CEO called his fiancée, reminding her the wedding was about to begin and urging her to come quickly. Still determined to punish this homewrecker, the fiancé decided to bring the woman to the ceremony, believing the real mother-in-law would handle things. Once at the wedding venue, the fiancé shoved the wealthy woman to the ground in front of everyone. Her own mother, equally ruthless, urged her not to hold back and to teach this other woman a real lesson. The fiancé, feeling confident, declared that after pretending to be the perfect daughter-in-law for 3 years, nothing would stop her from marrying the CEO now. The wealthy woman, shocked by what she was witnessing, stood up and declared there was no way she would allow this wedding to happen. The fiancé, thinking she was bluffing, shoved her again, knocking her to the floor. Meanwhile, outside the hall, the CEO finally arrived but was stopped by his assistant, who insisted he change into his wedding suit before entering. Inside, the fiancé continued to push her limits, ordering her friends to strip the wealthy woman of her clothes. Just as they were about to begin, the fiancé's mother noticed a jade bracelet on the woman's wrist. Without hesitation, she yanked it off as if she were pulling a skewer from a grill. The wealthy woman panicked, desperately trying to retrieve the bracelet. It wasn't just any piece of jewelry, it was a family heirloom passed down by her mother-in-law, symbolizing leadership of the family's empire. Seeing how distressed the woman was, the fiancé used it to her advantage, threatening to break it unless the woman publicly kneeled and confessed to being the other woman. What the fiancé didn't realize was that her actions over the next 10 minutes would lead to her complete and utter downfall.